Says, here we go. Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to Thursday, day 4 of our Immigration Journeys and Hispanic Heritage Week. If you weren't here yesterday to see our fabulous experience and journey with Alilo Gonzalez, please go to the Facebook Live page and watch yesterday. It was remarkable. Welcome to today's remarkable Daily Antidote of Song. Glad you're all here today. Always lovely to open up the door and see all of these beautiful faces come popping in. Welcome everybody on Facebook Live. Glad you're joining us here in the Daily Antidote. And welcome, of course, to everybody in this room. David Roth, who's going to be sharing a song today. Nice to see you, David. And Katie Abadou, who's running our tech today. Katie, thank you so much for being here. Hello, Sandy in Maryland. And hello, Nicole. Oh, Nicole, this is my neighbor, I think. Hello, Nicole. Nice to see you today. Nikki. Hi, Brian. Nice to see you today. Glad you are with us today. And Al, nice to have you strumming away, of course, on your guitar already. And Pat Neal, Katie Abadou's mom. Nice to see you coming in from Maryland. Hello, Susan, possibly new to us today. Glad to see you today. And Annette in California, hello. And Becky in British Columbia, hello. Hello, Allison, coming in from Maryland. Nice to see you today. And Deli in Maryland. And Arlene in California, hello. Dan in Vienna, Virginia, hello. Nice to see your smile today. Hello, Sheila in Florida, recently birthday girl. Hello, Hindi, coming in from Toronto. Nice to see you. Sarah in Texas, hello. Great to see you. Hello, Dane. Nice to have you again today. Coming in from, I remember you told me and I've forgotten. Hello, I remember, Maryland. Dane is coming in from Maryland. Hi, Christiana, coming in from Rockville. Nice to see you. And hello, Susan in Ohio. Karen in Oregon, hello. Amanda and Miles, maybe over there in the distance, coming in from Michigan. Glad to see you. Hello, Phil in Totnes. Look, you guys are friends and you're both next to each other. Hello, Kate in Charlottesville. Great to see you today. I'm glad you're here. And let's see, Kathleen in Albuquerque. Hello. Luda coming in from Victoria. Hello, and hugs to Mark. Hello, Susan in Seattle. Bonnie in Idaho. Ruth in the UK. Say hi to Phil in Totnes for us. Hello to Steve and Michelle in Silver Spring, Maryland. Storm coming in from Massachusetts. Shari in New Hampshire. Hi, Carolyn in Boise. And hello, Barb in Virginia. Glad to see you again. We've missed your face. Hello to Aloysius coming in from Massachusetts. And Lynn and Cliff in Vermont. Hello to both of you. Great to see you. Hi, Bob in Massachusetts with one cinnamon bear and one dancing mouse. Hello, Jamie in Victoria. Nice to see you today. And Miriam, glad to have you back. We have missed you. Hello, Nancy in Washington State, also birthday girl hiding behind her cow. And also, I forgot to say Kathleen was a birthday girl. Hi, Juanita in Texas. Nice to see you. And Fred in Silver Spring from the DC Labor Corps. Hello. Nancy in Vermont. Glad to have you back again. And Caroline in DC with, I think it's like some, yes, it is something. Hi, Trish, coming in from British Columbia. Nice to see you today. And Lynn in Connecticut. Hello, good to have you back. Hello, Carol in Connecticut. There are my 2 Connecticut girls. Hi, Bronwyn in Victoria. Hello to Gary in Massachusetts. Is it your birthday today? No, this week. It doesn't matter. We'll get there. Hello, Julie in Ontario. Nice to see you. And let's see who else we have today. Lots of folks off video. Karen in Oregon. Mommy in New Jersey. Sarah, nice to see you today. Also new to us, I think, or new this week. Hi, Kat in Vermont and Alan in the Maryland, D.C. area. Hello, Loriana and Kachina. So it's actually Thursday, so that's Courtney and Kachina. Hello, Courtney and Kachina. Julie, Tom, Isabel, and Lori. Thanks so much, gang, to all of you for being here today. Let's all take a big Thursday breath. Lovely to see you all. So I'm very excited to have a neighbor in the room. I think if I shout, my window's open, if I shout loud enough, she might get to hear like 2 ways. Today we are continuing our journey. We have been singing and thinking and talking a lot about immigration this week. And David Roth has a beautiful, beautiful immigration song that he's bringing to us. It's a good week to be talking about it because it seems to be in the news in 5 different ways this week. So after we sing with David, we are going to chat a bit. And David, I think you were going to sing us this song and have us join in with you after we get a little familiar, maybe like a listen through the first time. Is that what we decided?
Yeah, sure. And not right away, but we'll put the words in in the chat, maybe after the first chorus, um, and you'll pick up on it pretty quickly. And Joe, it's great to be back. Great to see you all. And I love at this particular point in time how the sun is shining right on my fretboard. It's almost as if, hopefully, one hopes that our music and our community will bring more light into the world at a time of darkness. And there it is, right on where my fingers are. So.
It's the symbolism that was meant to be. Thank you so much for seeing that.
This is a co-write with two friends of mine, J.D. Martin of Colorado and Karen Drucker of San Francisco. For the past 4 years, Guadalupe checked in to the Phoenix office of immigration. Both of her kids, U.S. born. But everything changed the day they took her away. In the home of the brave, in the land of the free, we are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Guadalupe, you come for me. For the past 2 years, Kamal made his rounds. Interfaith Medical Center, New York City. He went to Sudan to visit his mom. But everything changed. He couldn't come back. He was stranded in the home of the brave, in the land of the free. We are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Kamal, you come for me. Give me your tired, your poor huddled masses. This is America, built by dreamers, yearning to breathe free. If I had to leave my country, what would I do? If the way I dressed was a trigger for you, if I'm not welcome here, where would I go? Could I sail away on an unknown ocean of hope? In the home of the brave, in the land of the free, we are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Guadalupe, for Kamal, when you come for my neighbor, you come for me.
Wow. David, that was tremendously beautiful. Thank you so much. Beautiful food for thought And I think that probably everybody in the room is ready to sing it through with you now that we've gotten to hear it.
Great. Let's do that, and then let's get into it. For the past 4 years, Guadalupe checked in to the Phoenix office of immigration. Both of her kids are U.S. born. But everything changed the day they took her away. In the home of the brave, in the land of the free, we are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Guadalupe, you come for me. For the past 2 years, Kamal made his rounds. Interfaith Medical Center, New York City. He went to Sudan to visit his mom. But everything changed. He couldn't come back. He was stranded in the home of the brave, in the land of the free. We are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Kamal, give me your tired, your poor huddled masses. This is America, built by dreamers, yearning to breathe free. If I had to leave my country, what would I do? If the way I dressed was a trigger for you, if I'm not welcome here, where would I go? Could I sail away on an unknown ocean of hope? In the home of the brave, in the land of the free, we are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Guadalupe, for Kamal, when you come for my neighbor, you come for me.
It's a good song to take a pause after. I saw a lot of people remarking and could see from faces that people were crying and that there was a really deeply hitting song. Thank you, David, for bringing that to us. There's so much to think about and talk about right now as we're seeing some immigration issues sort of playing out in our own current week, not unlike they played out the week before and the week before and the week before. And we've been talking in this room about sort of what we've been seeing in the news. We talked about it yesterday with Lilo from a more personal perspective. For anybody who missed yesterday, Lilo actually immigrated, came over the border in the 70s illegally, and shared a lot of stories, including a photo of him just recently sitting and looking at that same Texas border he crossed, sitting just looking at it. It was a very powerful picture. So I once again recommend folks to go back if you missed yesterday and catch it on Facebook Live. David, yesterday or the day before, I don't remember. Yeah, the day before we sang with Joe Jenks, and he brought us a song, "Lady of the Harbor," which also made reference to the Statue of Liberty and the message that comes with the Statue of Liberty. And I was really struck today when singing with you how much that message is, I think, embedded in how we see ourselves as a nation or as citizens. That sense that we had, or maybe in some ways still have, the idea that we are or can be welcoming, that we are or can be a home for people, a safe home for people. And just, can you start just our chatting there? That's sort of where my head is at the moment.
I, from my little bubble, cannot imagine getting in a rickety vessel of any kind, facing an open sea, being so desperate for any kind of betterment in my life so as to push off the shore. Unfathomable. My father, Irving, may he rest in peace, was a Russian Jewish immigrant. And I was showing you this picture before we got on, and I'm going to show it again. This is my dad in his army uniform. It was probably a Friday night. He had his Jewish prayer shawl on, a tallis, and holding up a glass of wine. And, you know, all cards on the table. My father was never terribly happy that I became a folk singer. He had hoped his only son would become, you know, everybody all at the same time, a lawyer or a doctor. So if I could imagine what he was praying for this particular night when this photo was taken, it might have been, "Dear Lord, if I'm ever blessed to have a son, may he be a doctor or a lawyer." I'm just guessing. So this is in tribute to all our service people, of course, including my dad, World War II. And a prayer that I make, that we follow our dreams and do our best to see the water rise that lifts everybody up at the same time, not just some people.
So, my grandmother also came over on one of those rickety boats, and I was actually just telling Nico the story this week because we've been talking about immigration in here, and I was showing him she actually came over twice and went back to try to live there again, and then came back. And on her second trip over, she was 12, and she what's it called? Needle pointed a set of handkerchiefs and a little case for them, a little cloth case for them, and I have those, and I look at them all the time and try to imagine being 12 years old and you're changing country and everything is, scary and different and new, and she didn't remember her first trip here. Or there's so many of us, I am guessing, in this room who have our own potential story of how we got here. And I thought it would actually be interesting if people want to put their thoughts or their stories in the chat or email them to me. And like we did with 9/11, compiling a document with all of the quotes in it that people said that day. It's a way we can get to know each other a little more. Share your story if you want to now or by email, and we'll send it out to everybody in an email in the upcoming week. We are actually still compiling the 9/11 comments, and we'll get those to you, I believe, actually tomorrow. And
I want to suggest that they email them to you after this, so that people can stay present in this discussion and not be typing things into the chat.
That is a great idea. So there's an invitation to everyone here and everyone out there on Facebook Live. My email is in the comment section on Facebook Live as well as here. Email your stories if you want, and we'll compile them, and we can all get to know each other a little bit more. The how we got here, what the things are we bring to the table. I think another important thing, and we do this a lot in this room, is we talk about, so how can we actually directly help? What is it that we can do in any way? And we've taken a lot of action steps together in the room. And so for starters, Katie's going to be putting in the chat just a couple of quick links that I found that talk about how we can help. And we'll talk about that more after we've all had a chance to read them through during the week. Maybe we'll talk about them on Sunday or Saturday. David, I'm also thinking about the quote that was, I think his name is Martin. I don't remember. He was maybe a Holocaust survivor. The quote that says, and then they came for me. Do you know the quote I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know it verbatim, but I've heard it. The gist of it was that they came for this group and that group, and I was apart from it, and then all of a sudden they came for me.
Yeah, okay. I just found it. First,
There
they
you go.
came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. I just found it on the Holocaust Museum Memorial page, and I'm going to go ahead and stick that in the chat. So was that quote in your head when you wrote this song?
Not at all. I wrote this song, as I said, with two other people. It was February of 2017, right after that 2016 presidential election cycle. And it was at the annual Positive Music Festival. Yes, there is such a thing in Florida. And I came a day early so I could hang out with my friends from around the country who I never get to see in person, even pre-pandemic. And these two buddies of mine and I thought we'd get together for a fun little afternoon of songwriting. And when we all walked into the room, immigration was the only thing that was on our mind. And, not everybody is cut out to write songs of topical nature. And as a folk singer, molded by the likes of Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger and Bob Dylan and Joan Baez and Phil Oakes and go right on down the list. I was a little more familiar in the folk world than my co-writers, but we took a deep dive that day, and I went looking for real people, and Kamal and Guadalupe are real people, and these are their situations. And this is a great example of how a song need not rhyme. You want to say exactly what you want to say in a song and not dilute it with cute little predictable things that sound like they're falling in place. Or as we like to say, avoid cliches like the plague.
That's a
But
very
if I
good.
may also, Joe, just say one more thing about this song. So I immediately began singing it at every appearance, starting from the day we wrote it, every single one. And you, my friends here at DAS, know that even in folk-friendly audiences and basements of Unitarian churches and all the other concert halls around the country, not everybody believes the same things on every subject. And that's a fair point. Absolutely. What we want to invite each other to is a respectful discussion. So I started playing this song, and on one Monday night in the Pacific Northwest, I was playing at a little fundraiser in a Methodist church near a military base. And I played this song at the end of the first set, and there was a hush that fell over the crowd. And when I came back from the second set, the 4 seats in the front row were empty. So I went to my sponsor and I said, hey, everything okay here? And he said, oh yeah, I love what you're doing. This is why I bring you here. And I said, it looks like a few people left. And he said, oh yeah, they're from the nearby military base. And they came up to me at the intermission. They said they had heard enough for one night. And then he said, but please keep doing what you're doing. This is why I inflict you on my audience. I've done it for years because I think what you're singing about has meaning and is important. And him still talking, that it's inclusive, and not divisive. But I learned something that night. Maybe I should program this song in the second set going forward, which is what I did. And exactly a week later, I was playing in a little fire hall in a little tiny town in the Pacific Northwest. The fire chief himself was kind of an amateur piano player, so I invited him to play along with me, and he's very good, by the way. And it was a conservative little town. I could tell just by what some people had told me, and a few people in the audience were wearing hunter's khaki and had moved there for the deer hunting and all that. No judgment, just saying. And I'm going in my mind, I've got to play this song. Where am I going to put it? I've got to play this song. Otherwise, I have to turn in my folk singer, credentials and identification card. And I played the song second to last at the end of the night. Right before I played the last song I sang for you guys a few weeks ago, I Stand for Love. That was my final song. But when I got to this song at the end of the first chorus, when you come for Guadalupe, you come for me, all the air got sucked out of the room. It was like a vacuum. It was like dead quiet, and people's eyes, got twice as big. And I continued playing the song. There was polite applause at the end, and then I go right to the piano and play I Stand for Love. And I'm talking to some people. They all filed out after long applause. And the fire chief said, "Mr. Roth, I'd like to see you in my office." I said, "Yeah, okay, I'll be right there. I'm talking to some people." He said, "Please come in now and close the door behind you." Okay, here it comes. So I walked in, closed the door. He sat across the conference table from me, looked into my eyes, no expression on his face for an eternal 5 seconds. And then he said, "I love how you did that." And I said, "Did what?" And he said, "You know what you did." And then he began chuckling. And I said, "Oh, you mean that kind of moment towards the end?" And he didn't say yes or no, but he paused and he said, "If you had played that song before the intermission of your program, a lot of people would have left the fire hall, and some of those people would be calling for my job tomorrow, that this kind of thing was being presented in a taxpayer-funded facility. But," he continued, "because you were dropping these hints," those were his words, I would say singing my songs, "all night long, about compassion and the human family and loving one another and helping each other through hard times and finding some good in a rough situation. Because you were dropping these hints all night, when you got to that song, something happened. And these people, for whom I've been their fire chief for a quarter of a century, they're on their way home now, or they're already home. And I believe they're talking about this." And he said, "I never thought that would be possible in this community. So for this, I thank you." And we became friends. And now when I go back out there, he tours with me a little bit as my piano player. Since he retired, he did not retire because of my song, as far as I know. It was a great, great experience. But it's a good experience to stimulate thought and provoke discussion, as long as we can respect one another and not push each other further into our respective corners. See, that word respect comes in twice. And if I ever get to be on the DAS again, I've got a new song about these corners and taking sides. So
Great. Well, that sounds like a theme for an upcoming week for sure. I was just reminded of Dan Zanes, who he sings in here all the time with his partner, Claudia Eliaza Zanes. And Dan also runs the Constructive White Conversation group, which I've been going to, and lots of folks in this room have been also going to. There is one on Wednesday night that I will be at, and hope that many of you can also join. And Dan said that when he first started doing anti-racist work, that basically he just made a lot of enemies and turned a lot of people off. And that part of what he learned was, thinking about your approach and the sensitivity and the ways that you can, if your goal is actually to make change or to encourage broader views, you have to go in with sensitivity. You have to go in with, you can't go in, everything firing. You have to really just take it down a step. And so that's what I'm hearing you say that you did. And in fact, it's one of the things that we also can do when we're saying what is it we can do. We can keep going to those sensitivity trainings and keep learning yet another thing about something else we don't see about ourselves, or we don't, know how to best express, and we can learn more and be better, we hope, as we move forward. So, David, thank you for an incredible journey today. And I think if you are okay with it, if we could sing your chorus a couple times through before we say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah. What an honor to have found my way through your door at the Daily Antidote of Song all these times. All right. In the home of the brave and the land of the free, we are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Guadalupe, for Kamal, when you come for my neighbor, you come for me. You want to try one on your own? Here we go. In the We are immigrants. When you come for Guadalupe, for Kamal, when you come for my neighbor, you come for me.
David Roth, thank you so much for such a powerful song and a powerful discussion. Everybody in this room, thank you so much for the very powerful chat box. And I'm getting some also private chat messages that are so ridiculously powerful. And I'm hopeful that we'll have permission from folks to put these all together into one and share them so we can actually really feel and learn a little bit more about each other and thereby be learning about the folks we don't know yet. And I want to thank everybody out there on Facebook Live for joining us. I want to thank Katie again, of course, for running the tech, and David again, of course, for the beautiful song, and everyone in the room for all of your contributions. Folks out there on Facebook Live, I did just throw out, if you want to email me about how you came here or any immigration stories you want to share, please feel free to do that. You can find my email in the comment section there on Facebook. And also, I did bring up the 9/11. We had a very good discussion on 9/11, also a beautiful song that day. If you missed it, you can go back and look at the 9/11 one on Facebook Live, obviously September 11 on our Daily Antidote of Song Facebook page. And you can add your comments there too, if you like. We were collecting comments from people who wanted to add their own thoughts about the 9/11 experience and the 20th anniversary. We are still taking those comments from Facebook and adding them to the document, so we will get yours if you put them on there. Thank you so much for that. David.
If I could say one more thing, Joe. The first time I played this with JD and Karen was at this music festival in Florida, and there were several hundred people in the audience hearing it for the first time, as were we. And there were two filmmakers from LA in the audience, Sherry Hersey and Rick Cowling. And they came running right up to us, practically jumped into our arms and said, "We want to make a video of this song. We believe in its message, and we want to do it free of charge." And we said, okay. And they made a stunning world-class video of this song. And I believe you've put that early on in the chat, but I encourage any of you who'd like to see something that's very moving through the eyes of two filmmakers in interpretation of the song, and you'll meet my other two co-writers as well if you go to that link. And please send me an email if you have any feedback or if you have anything to say about it, just as you write to Joe. I'm at davidrothmusic@gmail.com. It's always a great pleasure and honor.
Thank you, David. And yes, David's video is in the chat as well as his email, and already comments from people who already have seen your video, of course. So thanks so much, community, for being such an interwoven, interlinking, amazing group of people. And I'm going to say ciao to everybody out there on Facebook Live. Thanks so much for joining us. Be in touch if you want to, and we look forward to singing with you again tomorrow.